Hi, and welcome back, and thanks for being here. Wednesday already, and already the 24th day of August, and already we're staring at the heat and humidity. Some warm and moist air starting to creep back into the area and to the forecast, and we will be dealing with that for the next several days through your tomorrow. That giving us a small chance through Thursday of some showers and storms. And a weak cold front still is set to arrive on Friday and through the weekend. So weak it won't really do anything to temperatures. In fact, temperatures are going to climb. It will, however, give us another threat of some showers and storms. Still some nice, clear, albeit hot days in the forecast, but maybe a storm or shower or two to have to dodge. We'll have more in your weather forecast in more detail. A significant pot seizure last night in McGoffin County. Some plants several feet tall, 10 to 12 feet in height possibly. We'll show you some pictures from the scene, talk with local authorities, and have some more details in a few moments. And another Eastern Kentucky school looking at building a new high school, and they bring Johnson County discussing just that in their Board of Education meeting last night, and some other news and information and headlines to bring to you in what's left of the half hour. As from the governor's office, as was expected today, we've learned more after Governor Bevin unveiled his plan to improve the Medicaid program for the Commonwealth. While it restores some benefits that the governor originally proposed to be cut a few months ago, it does, however, keep in it some of the most controversial parts of his conservative approach to overhauling the federal state health plan for low-income and disabled Kentuckians. The press release from the governor's office said in part that some new policies within the original application were clarified to address some misconceptions possibly that were out there. For instance, he says he referred to, or his administration did a press release, that benefits will not change for children, pregnant women, mentally frail, and adults eligible for the Medicaid program before expansion. The changes, he says, are largely targeted towards about 450,000 Kentuckians who were added to the Medicaid program through the expansion, which allows coverage for anyone earning 138% or less of the federal poverty level. That's about $16,200 per person. Officials within the governor's administration have said the new rules would apply mainly to able-bodied adults within the Medicaid population and would not affect disabled individuals or those deemed medically frail. The governor had authorized the Medicaid expansion that began in 2014. He did so saying that it would drastically reduce the rate of people with no health coverage in Kentucky and improve access to health care in a state that has some of the worst health outcomes in the entire United States. Under the proposed expansion, Kentucky experienced the sharpest decline in the nation of residents with no health insurance. However, the recently elected Republican governor has said that the plan is just not sustainable as far as financials are concerned, arguing that the state can't afford its growing share of the Medicaid costs even through the federal government funds, even though the federal government funds the majority of Kentucky's nearly $10 billion a year Medicaid program. He says about 1.3 million people, nearly one-third of the state's population, now get health coverage through Medicaid. Also, State Medicaid Commissioner at a recent meeting, Steve Miller, said the governor's plan would result in a savings of about $2.2 billion over a 5-year period, about $1.9 billion of that in federal money, and about $331 million of that in savings to the Commonwealth. However, there are some, of course, other opinions on the matter, one coming from U.S. Representative John Yarmouth, a Louisville Democrat, who says that the savings mean a loss of $1.9 billion in federal money that would otherwise be coming to Kentucky. In some other money matters, and hopefully what will be a boost to a greatly needed group of individuals in Eastern Kentucky and elsewhere in other states as well, the Appalachian Regional Commission, the U.S. Economic Development Administration, and the United States Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration today all jointly announced a $38.8 million investment, they say, that will grow the economy in the nation's coal-impacted communities. Altogether, 29 awards were made as part of the Obama administration's Partnerships for Opportunity and Workforce and Economic Revitalization Initiative, POWER for short. Funds to stimulate economic growth and opportunity in communities that have historically relied on the coal economy for economic stability. With this announcement, communities and regions that have been negatively affected by changes in the coal economy are said to be able to strengthen their economies and workforces. With these investments, it says that more than 3,400 jobs are anticipated to be created and or retained in agriculture, technology, entrepreneurship, manufacturing, and other diverse sectors in Appalachia's coal-impacted communities. These awards have also attracted, they say, an additional $67 million in leveraged investments from other public and private partners. The Power Initiative, it says, is a multi-agency effort aligning and targeting federal economic and workforce development resources to communities and workers that have been affected by job losses in coal mining, coal power plant operations, and coal-related supply chain industries due to the changing economics of America's energy production. The Power Initiative is part of the President's Power Plan, a broader set of investments in coal-impacted communities, workers, and coal technology proposed in the fiscal year 2017 budget. The ARC also says that today's awards were granted from the $65.8 million in power funding announced by the ARC and the EDA earlier this year in March. Several different grants going to several different states to narrow those down, programs to improve the economy, specifically here in the eastern part of Kentucky. We'll get a total of about $13.5 million, about $7.5 million in total going to the University of Pikeville for the Kentucky College of Optometry project. Power funds will be used to purchase equipment, instructional supplies, and other materials to help launch a new College of Optometry. Within the first 3 years of the award, the College of Optometry plans on graduating 60 optometrists who will provide care to 12,000 patients and bring $26 million in direct economic impact to the regional economy. There's also $2.75 million in the in ARC grant funds going to the Eastern Kentucky Concentrated Employment Program in Hazard for the Tech Hire Eastern Kentucky initiative. As well, there's several other grants totaling $2 million and then on down going to other areas of the country, including Bluefield, West Virginia, Buchanan, West Virginia, and the list does indeed go on. You can find the complete list, should you decide to do so, at the Appalachian Regional Commission's website at arc.gov. We'll be right back. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. 'Tis the season, pot growing season specifically is what we're talking about tonight. A green thumb reportedly is the target now of local authorities and possibly the subject of arrest after charges are to be bound over to a grand jury after these marijuana plants were seized in the Pleasant Hill area of 460 last evening. An elaborate grow operation, not necessarily completely indoors, but sheltered in a structure-like area near two residences on 460 in the Pleasant Hill area. Sheriff Carson Montgomery confirms that 6 plants, some over a dozen feet tall, in a rather elaborate and certainly productive grow situation.
Yes, it was very well cared for, I would say. Appearance of there. 6 plants, I believe it was, some of them possibly over 12 foot tall, in a small area, kind of in between 2 houses, had about a 30-inch entrance on the way in, on the way out. It had some lights hooked up back there, maybe a water hose, a little bit more.
A street value eventually worth thousands of dollars. He says even with the significant height and size of these plants, they weren't mature at this particular point. The buds of the plant, which is what the grower intends to harvest, were only small in size at this time and would have been left to grow for several more weeks before being harvested. However, after receiving a tip, they have confiscated the plants, and he says that charges will be forwarded over to a grand jury in the near future.
No arrests have been made, but I do expect this case to go to the grand jury.
Sheriff's Department has made some smaller marijuana seizures in the past several weeks. This their largest to date, and not their last expected, as, once again, 'tis the growing season. We now know the identity of the deceased and the identity of the accused shooter pertaining to a shooting, fatal one. Obviously, it took place in Rowan County that I mentioned in brief last night. Kentucky State Police have now identified a 59-year-old man as the shooter who was taken into custody and charged with murder in the death of a 24-year-old identified as Marvin James Atkins. 24 hours ago, police were already saying that they had been contacted earlier yesterday morning about a domestic incident at a residence on Brown Ridge Road, Teddy Johnson's residence, we believe. And the domestic situation, a dispute between his daughter, and his daughter's boyfriend. At that time after the dispute, reportedly the boyfriend fled on foot. State police came, responded, searched for him for about an hour or so. They used a K-9 unit, stationing some troopers behind in the area should he return. However, he did so at a later time. It is at that time, during that second altercation, that it became much more violent. And apparently the 24-year-old was shot. New evidence or information released today per the investigation says that not only did 59-year-old Teddy Johnson shoot and kill 24-year-old Marvin Atkins after the argument, there was evidence that suggested that investigators have determined that after the argument, Johnson followed Atkins out of the residence before shooting him. It was after being shot that the victim was able to stagger across the street. He collapsed in a field and was determined to have died at that location moments later. Police have arrested Johnson. He is in the Rowan County Detention Center, so far charged with a count of murder. He is going to be arraigned in Rowan County Court on Monday of next week. I've got several more headlines right now. Announcements on your McGoffin County Farm Bureau community calendar for this evening with a couple of birthday wishes to start off the announcements. First, a happy birthday today to Janet Smith with a whole lot of love from your kids, Robin, Mike, and Deborah, and everyone at the IPCC Church called and said they wanted to chime in as well. Happy birthday, Janet Smith, and special birthday wishes going out tonight. A happy 21st birthday, that's a big one, to Vanessa Williams with a whole lot of love from a whole lot of family and friends. Happy 21st. I got this one just in. It's a little out of chronological order, but we wanted to make sure we got it on tonight. Super cool event. This coming Tuesday at the McGoffin County High School, they're having a book signing in the library of the new high school, so a great excuse, a reason to go up and see the new facility in case you haven't. An even better reason to go and support our local students, as these authors and illustrators of these books will be having a book signing 5 to 7 next Tuesday at the McGoffin County High School. And they'll also be selling and signing their books, of course, that they created with the ARI book writing project that their instructors and teachers are very proud of. So McGoffin County High School book signing Tuesday at 5 at the high school in the library. I hear that the District 3 Fire Department had a big turnout for their fish fry last night, a big all-you-can-eat fish fry, as they had some fish, I think, after Community Day. And I've got another announcement for you of the like. The Middle Fork Volunteer Fire Department's going to have their famous deep-fried Oreos and more at the Sagersville IGA. This Saturday, they're going to have actually deep-fried Oreos, funnel cakes, pork barbecue, hamburger, cheeseburger, nacho meals. All the meals with a drink are just going to be $5, and you can get the sweets, too. And that's this Saturday at the Sagersville IGA from 10 till 3. A reminder that revival is starting at the Wright and Middle Fork Baptist Church this Sunday night at 6, nightly thereafter at 7, with Farley Howard and Jim Howard preaching. This is your special invitation to join them for revival. And another reminder that the McGoffin County High School Class of 86 has their 30th reunion set for the Labor Day holiday weekend, 7 o'clock at the Sagersville Renaissance Center. And there's the phone number to call to find out more, classmates, 859-314-3453. Heritage Day officially kicks off next Wednesday. However, this Friday, Saturday, and Monday of next week is when you can register your baby and child for the pageants. That's right, Friday 4 to 6 at the Sagersville Renaissance Center, Saturday 11 till 2, and Monday from 4 to 6. No, I'm sorry, at the Historical Society. My apologies, got two announcements crossed there. Heritage Day baby and children pageant sign-ups at the Historical Society, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. If you have any questions, call 349-1607. And if you've got any announcements, birthdays, anniversaries, or the like, get them to me. Tell me about them. I'll tell everyone else. Doesn't cost a thing. And this is how you get them on the program, besides dropping them off here at the studio on East Maple Street above the Sagersville Post Office. And remember, Your News Today is always on our website at yournewstoday.com. A reminder of services tonight. Services to be held tomorrow morning at 11 for George Jacob Carpenter, 75, of Sagersville, who passed away on Monday, preceded in death by his wife, Sandy Mae Carpenter. George was a former member of the board of directors of the Sagersville National Bank, a retired employee, and he's also survived by his sons, Tommy, Jeff, and Lawrence. Visitation continues this evening and up until services begin in his honor tomorrow morning at 11, all from the Sagersville Funeral Home. Burial follows services tomorrow at the May Family Cemetery here in Sagersville. Before we go on to the rest of our headlines and the rest of the program, a correction to be made. The email that was forwarded to me identifying the winner of the car for Community Day at the end of the show was listed as Phyllis May. In fact, it's Pauline May, per her daughter, I believe, who left the message and called it in today. So with our apologies, glad to correct it, glad she won. So congratulations to Pauline May tonight on winning the car from Community Day. And, of course, you know, it's always nice to be able to tell when someone won a car. It doesn't get much better than that as far as reporting goes. The Johnson County Board of Education met in regular session last evening. Several items discussed, many of which we'll talk about beginning on tomorrow's program or soon thereafter. Specifically tonight, one very large topic of conversation, that a proposal for a new Johnson County High School. The idea of a new Johnson Central High School, still just a proposal at this point with no land acquired. This is actually coverage from one of their previous meetings where one of their final discussions was an executive session where they went into to discuss the possible acquisition or sale of property. I'm not sure if that is related as of this time or not, but what we can confirm right now is that during last night's meeting, they did discuss a review of the proposed draft for renovations to facilities in the Johnson County School District, including a proposed new Johnson County High School, which will be given the first priority as far as the list is concerned. Also given first priority would be renovation in addition to Central Elementary and some restroom renovations for the Johnson County Middle School. A little farther down the list as far as priority is concerned, they also discussed renovation in addition to the Flat Gap Elementary School, W.R. Castle, Porter Elementary. There was also discussion on sometime down the road relocating the Johnson Central Middle School to, of course, the current Johnson Central High School should a new high school be constructed. There are also plans to be made for a new central office and a new bus garage as well. A final proposal is going to be presented during the October meeting, we are told. More items of business discussed during their regular session meeting. I'll have those at a later time. Later tonight, per your Licking Valley RECC forecast, we should see about 70 degrees. Right now, still holding on to the 80s here at the newsroom at 88 degrees after the 6 o'clock hour. Skies seeing some more clouds, mostly cloudy during the overnight. A light south-southwest wind, 3 to 5 miles per hour. Those clouds are not expected to give way to any precipitation tonight. Tomorrow, in my latest update, I've got a 20% chance. It's not necessarily, it's not at all in your forecast on your screen, but the latest update does show now a 20% chance of some isolated showers and thunderstorms before 1. Very slight chance. Otherwise, another typo there. That temperature for tomorrow, that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to be actually 90 degrees or so tomorrow. It's going to feel like 98 or 99. That's two mistakes with my apologies for tomorrow's forecast. 98 is what the heat indices should be close to. We should really be close to 90, 91. A nighttime low of 72. After that slight chance of some showers, it's going to be sunny and hot, mostly sunny and hot. Clear skies will wrap up your Thursday as well. And then mostly sunny and clear and hot again on your Friday, close to 90 again, and heat indices up into the upper 90s again on your Friday as well. So the heat and humidity are making a steamy comeback. As for the weekend, sunny and hot rules. 90 on your Saturday, that's the actual temperature, and 91 on your Sunday is the actual temperature. Some sun, some heat, humidity will all, of course, make you feel sticky and hot. Summer is not over, and well
well noticed in your forecast. Mostly clear and sunny across the board, except for a few clouds late Sunday night. Monday, I think we'll see the upper 80s, mostly sunny skies, and also at the start of next week, we'll start to work back into a pattern of that at least slight chance of showers and thunderstorms to the tune of 10 to 20% through at least midweek.
A few things on my radar for tomorrow's program. Tomorrow is the day that the Kentucky Supreme Court has set aside for its next rendition day, meaning that we may have a decision tomorrow as it relates to the ongoing election case before them. We have that and a few other things on our radar on that front and some others. So for all the real, honest, local, and original news, we hope you'll join us back here next time for more of your news today. Thanks, and enjoy your Wednesday evening.